You must prevent them. You should avoid turmoil and demonstrations. You should not resort to havoc. People must not think that now they are victorious, they must create disorder. You must behave in an orderly way, according to Islamic and humanitarian principles, to show the world that you, citizen of a Muslim nation, are aware of Islamic code of conduct and are obedient to Islamic teachings. Gandhi believed that the civil disobedience with the oppressive government as a form of resistance can be achieved through struggles in line with principles of nonviolence, not at the face of armored confrontation. Gandhi adopted his socio-political struggles from the teachings of Indian philosophy and heritage. Imam Khomeini also viewed the same, and Imam developed his method of confrontation against aggression and despotism from the lessons of Karbala and the martyrdom of Imam Hussain. Iranian Revolution, from the very beginning of its 100 years of struggle for independence, had exhibited the non-violent methods of struggle and protest. Iranians have repeatedly resorted to non-violent principles to express their discontent to the regime. Imam Khomeini persuaded his people by saying, talk to the soldiers, have a dialogue with them, bare your chest, but do not fire. Do not throw so much as a brick against the soldier. Imam taught his people not to attack the army in its chest, but in its heart. Gandhi approached the class discrimination in India with an identity fashion and urged the people to fight against class discrimination, which Gandhi viewed as a social evil. Gandhi approached the untouchables of India by renaming them as the Harijans, the children of God. Imam Khomeini too could strike the mindset of the people by addressing the marginalized people of the then Iran with Mustazafin, the dispossessed masses. Imam Khomeini's approach in fighting against Shah's regime was a peaceful method, protest and passive resistance, rather than appeal to violence and use of guns. Imam just encouraged people for peaceful demonstrations and rally, and at the most asked them to disobey government's laws. During 1978 to 79, when the revolution reached its apex, Imam Khomeini urged his people to march peacefully in the streets and hand over flowers to the military personnel, which was one of the most effective and powerful methods of resistance. Iranian Revolution was not just a non-violent revolution, but traditionally deep-rooted form of activism that supplemented a cultural priority. In fact, Imam Khomeini was well aware of it, and he proposed a dynamic, non-violent social reformation to his people. This amalgamation of Iranian tradition with non-violent principles and Imam Khomeini's dynamic leadership became a potent force to overthrow Shah. I would like to end my speech by saying that if the mass collectively decides to withdraw their support to an unjust government, there would be little a regime can do to reassert itself and regain power. A non-violent campaign followed by a mass civil disobedience to the state pillars like workforce, government functioning, etc., would suffice for a repressive regime to collapse. Thank you all. Thank you.